We're back. Almost a year ago now, homes became offices and children became default co-workers, if you will, in the background and sometimes right on screen while parents are in the middle of a Zoom work meeting. And often they want or need more attention than we're able to give them in those moments. Even my show producer, who had to break her own house rules and toss her two boys on iPad just to finish the script for this segment. Now, it is a dynamic that many parents are dealing with and are exhausted by and worried about the impact it will have on our kids.
My name is Victoria Taylor. I'm a mom and middle school science teacher.
Good morning, Ava. Time to get up.
My daughter, Ava, is 8 years old, and my twins are 5 years old. Ava is a second grade student this year, and the experience initially for me with Ava was very saddening. I've had to have very serious conversations with her because she was naturally a confident but shy young lady, and now she's at home trying to deal with all these emotions that she doesn't understand. She was crying almost on a daily basis. They don't get to have that socializing and interaction with other students. So there is definitely a benefit to physically being in the school. But I learned if you find a way to have true joy and peace within your home, then you'll be able to survive anything.
I'm Heather Adams, and I am a busy working mom. We're raising a teenager and a preteen during this pandemic, and it is uncharted territory. Our kids are not leaving the house. Our kids are on Zoom multiple hours a day.
T, did you get your mask?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What I continue to think about are the ramifications long term. Are my boys going to have the right social skills? Are they going to be invested in intimate relationships with other people? We don't have a roadmap for what this looks like.
And joining us from their home in Chicago, Dr. Victoria Taylor Obasohan, and from Nashville, Tennessee, Heather Adams. Thank you both for joining us. You know, I got to start off with you, Victoria. Ava, to see those pictures of her, this vibrant, like bold little girl, and to hear you say now you've watched her confidence over this year just decline, that has to be so heartbreaking for you. And do you feel helpless? Here you are, a doctor, you work with children in psychology and development. Do you feel a sense of helplessness?
Initially, I felt very helpless, but I knew that my daughter's growth is immensely important to me. So I found ways for her to understand how to find her own confidence. We had to regain her confidence again. And that's going to be something that we're constantly working toward.
Do you think this 1 year of isolation, do you feel will have a long-term effect on who she is potentially when she's 16, when she's 17?
That's a great question, Tamron, because I think that anything that impacts our childhood greatly will definitely affect us later on. It's how we choose to move forward with that circumstance that makes the difference in our lives. So we've tried to get very creative at home and interactive and seek our own mental health and affirm our own joy and who we are as individuals in our home so that in the future it won't be such a downward trot moment.
Ava, you talked about your boys and your concerns over friendships and relationships moving forward, because at the end of the day, we are the family they can't choose, but they get to choose their friends. And at this point, they're very limited. And how will that impact them moving forward? What do you see in your boys that are red flags? Not red flags, I shouldn't say that. Things that you want to get in front of. Heather.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
You know, I just worry about the fact that my boys are 14 and 11. They're in middle school. My oldest is going to high school next year, and their social interactions are so key to them right now. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not spending time at spend the nights with each other. They're not, when they're in class, they're distance from each other. And that intimacy that comes with in-person interaction, I just worry that the long-term effects could be very serious.
Yeah. And Victoria, you work with middle school students, and you've noticed in the beginning, the kids were like, okay, this could be cool. This is different. Who wants to go to school? Now, a year later, they are, in some cases, resenting this process of learning. I had a parent in our virtual audience who said, I have a 10-year-old. I don't want my child to start hating school because now home is school and it's all just round and round.
So that's definitely true, especially for those students that are transitioning from 8th grade to high school. I think that they are the most concerned and the most kind of in their own depressed feelings about it. Some of them are depressed and they don't have any way to interact as they typically would. They can't go to the counselor's office. They can't go physically to someone outside of their home to talk. So we had to create those outlets within our own classrooms virtually. I have an outlet for my middle school students so they can kind of vent about that and become interactive. We do a morning mental health exercise and we tell corny jokes every day. We do whatever we can to try to build the momentum for them because none of us have been through this circumstance.
None of us.